Hello and what's up, my friends of the West? How is everyone doing today? I I'm coming at you as Guru Carpo here, not Shaman Carpo, mind you, and that's the topic of the day. A, I'm not really a guru, of course. I'm totally joking. I have no intention of pretending to be one because I know better. Let's just say that anyone who thinks that they are a guru or a shaman is suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect and just hasn't gained enough wisdom within the field to understand that they don't know what they're talking about. However, if you want to get technical, somebody who claims to be helped by another person, might say they're my guru. So be it. That's fine. Guru might be able to slide. But shamanism, by definition, is a term that I've done a ton of research on. I actually had a bunch of pages screenshotted and ready to share, and I was like, this is pointless. Every time I want to share data and information, it just seems like a waste of time. I'd rather just talk about it. Shamanism basically it's a person, the medicine man, if you will, which can be somewhat interchangeable with shaman, but in many Pacific Islander as well as Eastern mysticism, different cultures, they would have a shaman, and this person was the intermediary between you and God. This is the person that would teach you what you needed to know to live your life. And their way of gaining this information was to go into a trance. Almost always, shamans would take psychedelics or some other trance-inducing substance, and or just deprivation, food, water, whatever it might be, isolation, and would come out with an answer. Now, look, I don't personally disbelieve any of it. I don't believe everything outright that a person claims to have seen or heard, because I've had so many psychedelic journeys of my own now that I understand we can have some very delusional states. But within the context of the culture, this medicine man, this shaman, knows what the person needs and the people need because it's a small community. And everything is taught within the context of their own belief system. In the West, there are no shaman. The reason being because a shaman is an intermediary between literal spirits, and that means you have to define the spirits that you're an intermediary with. And the goal of a shaman is to deal with these spirits, discuss and resolve conflict, and help the person. And the reason this bothers me is because I've heard this brought up a lot more, especially since psychedelics became more acceptable. Somebody asked me after the Fish show in Seattle, they're like, don't you think it's weird that psychedelics have all of a sudden just, I was like, they're accepted? It's like, yeah. I was like, not at all. Like, why would you even think that it's weird? There are so many different ways to look at this, but I think the most crucial one is that psychedelics themselves do not make you a shaman. They do not bring you any closer to truth. They don't teach you even about yourself. It's a tool in order to process those things, and that takes a lot of effort and work. I thought I knew myself when I was, before I was even 20. I mean, shit. And then moving on through the years, as you get older, you start to understand certain aspects of life that are quite more complicated. And it's not that you become jaded or you've given up. You just understand that you have to use what you have, the medium that you're given. So that's why people fall into working for the man or doing whatever they have to do to survive. It's not that they want to, but that they have to. And I think in the midst of all this bullshit we have going on in the West, all this hustle and bustle, it's not just here, it's everywhere, but we feel like we always have to be going, always on the grind, right? The hustle. It's bullshit. I don't buy into it. I never have. And I think that people need time to chill. People need time to think, reflect, relax, and therefore the idea that we can just, work all the time is in itself, complete bullshit. But that's what kind of a culture that's being promoted out there. And I think what's really needed is more self-reflection. And psychedelics for myself have really assisted in that. But I've had to become my own guru, my own shaman. And that means I don't have a teacher. I never had a teacher. But just because somebody claims to be able to be a teacher, I guess the reason that I'm mentioning this is to warn people against believing in somebody who says, oh, I've taken acid or mushrooms a bunch of times, and hey, I can help you and walk you through this. And then they try to read you your astrological charts and all that bullshit. And look, I'm not pleading or speaking from ignorance. It bothers people when I say star charts are bullshit. Do I believe that all, star related, birth related, planetary position, all these things, do I think they're all bullshit? No. I do think that where you're born, when you're born, how the planets are aligned do affect certain aspects of your life, or at least maybe your behavior, your genetics. I don't know. It's all magnetic and electric, and I don't understand how it works, but neither does anyone else. I don't care how ancient you go back. Nobody can give you a horoscope on the Sunday newspaper that tells you how you should live your life. Those are all bullshit, and people will, even people who are into star signs and astrology will tell you that horoscopes are bullshit, but they'll be just as quick to tell you who you are and to try to decipher you and your personality. It's kind of like the several of the personality tests, which have been deemed to be complete bullshit as well. At least there's some personality traits that we do share. But the point here is it's a desperate attempt to understand ourselves, to become a guru in psychology, to become a psychological medicine man, if you will. Pick things apart and understand people. And I'm going to tell you, from a person who's a human being who has my own thought patterns, people just don't get me, and they never have. And they probably don't get you either. So, don't buy into the hype that somebody else knows what's best for you or what's better just because they claim to be a guru or anything else. There are far too many people who fall prey to others who have delusions of grandeur, psychological distress of their own that they manifest into their claim to want to help other people. Look no further than Teal Swan, who has been on YouTube for a decade or more. And God, there's so many, I can't even name them all off, and I won't, because I stopped interesting myself in these wannabe gurus, and told myself I'm never going to use that to make money, pretend like I know better than other people. I know I do sometimes, but it doesn't mean I'm going to fucking push that shit. Anyway, that's my ramble for the day. Or second ramble for the day, but who's counting, right? Peace out. Oh, yeah, make sure I have a Patreon. You can see that. And I also have a podcast called 15 Minute Free Thinking. There's another episode going live tomorrow. It's going to be my 100th podcast. Actually, I'm glad I remembered that. I uploaded it a few days back, but it's podcast number 100. It's been a couple of years, and I don't do them all the time. And it's about AI. So if you're interested in that, check it out. 15-minute free thinking podcast on all platforms, and I appreciate all of your help and your patience in listening to my rambles and your contributions through the comments, through the like button, and also through Patreon. So thank you all. Peace.